Live, local, late breaking. This is 4029 News at 5.
Hi, good evening. I'm Allison Wise.
And I'm Brandon Evans. Welcome to 4029 News at 5 o'clock.
Let's start with your get ready weather as we take a live look outside. Little traffic on I-49 through Rogers, but it's been warmer. The sun has been out. It's definitely been shining this afternoon.
Yeah, let's get to 4029 Chief Meteorologist Darby Bybee. How's it looking out there, Darby?
Yeah, certainly out there right now, we're looking pretty good. Current temperatures mostly the 40s to around 50. That's not too bad at all. Certainly warmed up nicely today. We got clear skies all over us, but we're going to have a lot more clouds and widespread rain across the area later in the week. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Here are some major headlines happening right now.
Oklahoma public safety officials say a driver and a passenger are safe, but one person is still missing. This after their car went into the Arkansas River Friday morning. Now, they were interviewed at the hospital by troopers. That's when they learned there's another passenger never made it to land. Both stated that they had been drinking alcohol. Now, the missing individual has not been seen or heard from since Friday. No other information about search efforts is available at this time.
Tens of thousands of displaced Gaza residents began returning to their homes in the north of the Strip today, following a 48-hour delay caused by a hostage release dispute between Israel and Hamas. That's according to the Israeli Prime Minister's office. Hamas and Israel reached an agreement to release more hostages this past week.
Crews in Southern California are monitoring the risk of toxic ash runoff from recent rain in the areas most impacted by wildfires. This comes as the National Weather Service issues flood watches. Now, the rain is expected to provide some relief to firefighters who have been battling multiple wildfires for weeks. And with many in our community fearing mass deportation efforts by the federal government, tonight we are hearing from a local organization that's dedicated to helping immigrants about what they're seeing here in Arkansas and around the country.
Brett Rains has the latest, including what's being recommended for all immigrant families.
The executive director of Arkansas United says right now they're seeing immigrants targeted who have active deportation orders in place or those who are connected to criminal activity. And the organization says it's best for all immigrant families to have a plan in place for any worst case scenarios.
The number one thing that we found here in Arkansas was enhanced visibility around normal enforcement.
Maria Reith is executive director of Arkansas United. The immigrant advocacy organization is based in Northwest Arkansas and serves 2,000 immigrants across the state. Reith says right now, Immigration Customs Enforcement agents are looking for immigrants who already have active deportation orders.
It is rare that someone will be surprised that they have an order of deportation. Likely an attorney has told them that already. So this is a moment to take an honest reflection around somebody's either legal consultations or their own engagement with law enforcement. And it is time for everybody to also do what we call family emergency plans, powers of attorney, and to prepare for those worst case scenarios.
Ray says new immigrants seeking asylum are also rapid deportation targets.
If you've been here less than 2 years, you urgently need to get in front of an attorney to really understand your options and how expedited removal is affecting you.
Concerns about mass deportations sparked this protest in Rogers over the weekend. Ray says right now the biggest fear is that ICE agents will show up at places of work, churches, schools, or healthcare clinics. But as of now,
there's no evidence anywhere in the country of mass raids. That is where our community is gravely concerned about doing anything in the community.
Arkansas United investigates reports of deportations to help get the most information out there in our area. They also partner with similar organizations across 38 states. In Fort Smith, Brett Rains, 4029 News.
Today has been quite sunny and warm as the sun starts to set. We're taking a live look in Rogers. No major problems on the interstate, but Darby Bybee is joining us again here.
We've had some nice sunsets lately, haven't we?
Yes.
It's been beautiful. Tomorrow's going to be even warmer than today, right, Darby?
Yeah, tomorrow looks great, sunny, beautiful. It's not going to stay that way all week. Let's briefly kind of touch on that real quick here. Tomorrow, yeah, no chance of rain, but then as early as maybe Wednesday morning, but especially Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening and overnight into Thursday. That's when the bulk of our rain comes in this week. But in the meantime, clear conditions, temperatures in the 40s across northwest Arkansas, right around 50 in the River Valley. Not bad this evening. Quickly drops in the 30s later on this evening, waking up upper 20s to around 30 tomorrow morning. A little chilly, but not as cold as it was this morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at mid to upper 50s in northwest Arkansas, upper 50s to around 60 in the River Valley. Again, a lot of sunshine, beautiful day. Then we get to Wednesday. Here comes the cloud cover. Scattered showers possible as early as mid-late morning, but more likely some scattered showers in the afternoon. A lot more as we go into our Wednesday night. Brandon, coming up, we're going to talk more about how much rain to expect when it moves out. A lot still to get to. That's coming up.
All right, Darby, talk to you in just a bit, but now we're going to take a live look at our nation's capital. President Trump signed a flurry of executive orders in his first week back in office. We look at the White House. Week 2 beginning, he's issued new executive orders, 3 impacting the U.S. military. One military directive will ban transgender service members. Now, another order, it would reinstate and give back pay to service members who were discharged for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. And lastly, another order cuts the military's diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Now, the State Department says it suspended processing passport applications with the gender marker X. So the department spokesperson says that the move is in line with an executive order issued by President Trump, one that says it is government policy to recognize only 2 genders.
For the first time in U.S. history, military planes are being used to deport undocumented immigrants to places like Colombia. Colombia says it's resuming acceptance of U.S. deportation flights after its refusal to accept 2 of them this weekend, which led to both countries' leaders threatening hikes on tariffs.
The only way that Donald Trump knows how to, quote, lead is by acting like a bully.
He's putting the rest of this hemisphere on notice that you are not dealing with the same president that you were.
ICE reports almost 1,000 arrests and more than 500 detainings happened Sunday. Those are numbers from Metro Atlanta, Puerto Rico, Colorado, LA, Austin, and Chicago. President Donald Trump's immigration officials have been instructed to, quote, dress for the cameras, according to sources who told CNN that every participant must wear raid jackets to maximize media attention on the mass deportation effort. Several protests over Trump's immigration policies happened around the country this weekend. Hundreds gathered in Dallas and Fort Worth to show up and speak for those who can't. And in Chicago, a coalition of immigration activists, pro-Palestinian and other groups gathered to express anger over the recent immigration policies, also demanding the Trump administration focus on immediate aid to Gaza and an independent state for the Palestinian people.
Navajo Nation leaders are sounding the alarm over reports of indigenous people being questioned and detained during immigration sweeps.
With each of our tribes, with the Navajo Nation, for example, we do have a certificate of Indian blood, meaning that we do have identification, knowing that we are members of the Navajo Nation. And right now, it's very uncertain if that is being verified as a correct type of or eligible identification by ICE or any type of law enforcement.
So Navajo Nation officials say at least 15 indigenous people in Arizona and New Mexico have reported being stopped, questioned, or detained by federal law enforcement. They say they were asked to provide proof of citizenship. And today, newly appointed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth arrived at the Pentagon for his first day on the job. Now, he spoke publicly on a number of issues, including the border.
This is a shift. This is not the way business has been done in the past. Whatever is needed at the border will be provided, whether that is through state active duty, Title 32 or Title 10.
Now, Hegseth says, as Secretary, he will ensure his orders are, quote, complied with rapidly and quickly.
The Arkansas Attorney General's office held a news conference to announce the results of a statewide, multi-state anti-human trafficking operation. Today, the AG's office issued a statement saying 12 search warrants across the state were issued to combat human trafficking that resulted in aid for 16 victims, the arrests of 4 people, nearly $70,000 seized, and a luxury vehicle. In Europe, thieves used explosives to break into a museum in the Netherlands, and they stole 4 ancient artifacts, including a 2,500-year-old gold helmet and 3 gold bracelets dating from around 50 BC. Investigators are working to uncover more clues.
Well, today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's a day that we remember the 6 million Jews and countless others who lost their lives under the Nazis. The Holocaust survivors, world leaders gathered at the former Auschwitz Concentration Camp today marked the 80th anniversary of the camp's liberation. Now, historians say about 1.1 million people were murdered at the Nazi Germany camp in Poland from 1940 to 1945, many of whom were Jews. And a Holocaust survivor is educating younger generations on the horrors of the World War II. It says his goal is to send an important message about humanity. Now, when asked how hearing his story is shaping them for the future, they say it's a reminder to be kind.
I feel that it really highlights the importance and the need to stand up to prejudice and stand up for those who are vulnerable. And I feel that it reminds us of the importance of teaching and educating younger generations to really combat prejudice and promote peace.
As those still alive continue to age, some fear this generation may be the last to hear firsthand from Holocaust survivors.
Right now, the U.S. military is helping deport migrants, sending them back to their native countries.
So just ahead at 5, commanders say their involvement is only just starting in Fort Bliss, Texas.
Also, hear from the lead researcher about how space may help future heart health.